Since 1961, Quartz Plumbing has offered friendly, reliable service to residences all over Bergen County, New Jersey. We are a fourth-generation family-owned business, unmatched in customer satisfaction and professionalism while working in your home. We are the hydronic heating and water filtration specialists, with a workmanship guarantee to put you at ease so you can rest comfortably. We offer financing for those big projects that catch you off guard, and we have a network of excellent contractors in all fields for any project you wish to tackle. Call our responsive office team, and we'll dispatch a handsome and educated technician to lay the smackdown on all your plumbing issues. You can also find us at quartzplumbing.com, search us on Google, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Like, subscribe, and share, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Plum Bums Podcast, the blue-collar tradesman show where we talk about running a small business and entrepreneurship in this modern era. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. We are on, I believe this is episode 20. I'm starting to lose count. But we're just cruising right along here, and to be honest, I'm pretty impressed with myself. We'll speak for... Well,
And
Max
only
is back,
yourself.
so he can... Are you impressed? Are you impressed with...
I'm very impressed with you. Very impressed with you. No, I'm very impressed.
I'm not fishing for compliments.
It's okay.
I'm just saying...
You do a lot here.
No. We run...
You do most here.
We
I'll be
run.
honest.
We run a. The two of us are out in the field running a plumbing company. In school, and then finding the time to produce a YouTube channel, which, listen,
Super successful.
10 years ago, I mean, I went to work and came home and then did what was going on the weekend. So,
Well, this is only slightly my idea. It's mostly you put it into...
you know what? I don't like to give you credit often, but this was your idea originally. Thinking back, like you were the one that brought it up.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from that. As you can see, Max is back. My trusty sidekick, Maximilian. Max, tell us where you were.
Italy.
Where did you go?
Italy. Gorgeous
Where
country.
in Italy?
I went to Rome, Florence, Tuscany, Naples, because that's where my mother's side of the family's from. They used to live over there. We used to see where they lived. And it's gorgeous. Every aspect of every place that you go to is just as beautiful as the next. Like the architecture, the food is amazing. But I don't understand how they're not like 300 pounds over there, because I'm not exaggerating. Every meal is pizza pasta.
Bread and cheese.
Bread and cheese. Every meal, no matter where you go. And I remember we went on a tour in Tuscany, and it was like a food and wine tour, and they have to ask every group, they're like, all right, does anybody have any food allergies or any, vegans or vegetarians or whatever it was? And me and my family would eat everything and anything. It doesn't matter. And we're like, no. And she goes, oh, thank God. Because in Italy, we eat everything. And for some reason, all the American groups, there's a vegetarian, a vegan, somebody who doesn't eat gluten. And I'm thinking to myself, how are you going to come to a country like this and be gluten-free? Everything is gluten. It's all...
She said that specifically, that Americans will come over here.
She said specifically that, like, the foreign groups that come for these tours, there's always some, like, a vegan, a vegetarian.
Because we're just a trendy obsessed culture.
They don't have that over there. They're not vegans and vegetarians, and they eat pastas and breads, and they're not 300 pounds.
I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial, but a lot of the food here is banned in most European countries.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
So everyone thinks, oh, I can't eat gluten because I get sick. It's like, no, you can't eat Wonder Bread. You can't eat, like...
It's also the stuff that they spray on all those foods. But the other thing is in America, you can't really compare us to Europe, because we have 360 million mouths to feed. Italy has got, maybe 30 million? 40 million, something like that. If that. European countries are so much smaller.
Tiny country, right?
Yeah, they're so much smaller, so you don't have to feed that many people. So everything is relative. If you want to feed 360 million people, and this is going to be controversial too, I guess, but it's like to starve in America is a lot more difficult because of the program, because of the programs that you have, and it's like you can feed your kid on like $1.25 peanut butter and jelly sandwich every day. Like he can have that for a lunch.
I heard recently someone goes, they're like, listen, America does have its problems, but our poor people are fat.
Yeah,
Like
you're
they're
not,
fed.
Yeah,
The poor people are fed. You go to other countries, the poor people are
dying. Yeah,
because of starvation.
dying from starvation, not dying from obesity.
See, that's why America, even when you're down and trodden, there's always something to eat. It's crazy. I don't know what else you want to talk about for over there. I mean, you went with your family.
Yeah, it's
How'd you guys get along?
surprisingly very well. It took us. Listen, we
'Cause you're
argued.
getting older.
Huh?
'Cause you're getting older.
No, it was arguments almost every day, between people. But it was like, it's nice. It was nice because even like you said, we're getting older. So even when you get into the argument, you're like, okay, I'm kind of being an a-hole, so I'm gonna make nice, and it just kind of like rolled over.
Yeah.
You know, usually when you fight at home, you can not talk to your family for like a few days. You know,
Right.
weeks sometimes you can go, but there you're rooming with your family. You know, you're
Yeah.
doing these trips with your family. So you're like, if I don't make up right now, what am I going to do? I'm going to be that guy that ruins a trip.
We took one family vacation. I was 12 to Disney World. Whatever's in Florida. Disneyland, Disney World.
World, I think.
So we did Disney World and we did Universal and MGM. And we were there for like a week and a half. And the vacation, when we were out in public, was just fine. The hotel room every morning and night was a disaster.
Yeah.
Because we all shared one room. Like there was no...
Yeah.
And we got 5 people in my family. Yeah, the hotel. When we were in Disney World, it was a lot of fun. We were loving each other, having a grand old time. But as soon as you get back to that hotel and the door closes, he's touching me. His feet are touching me. He took my toy. Yada yada. Oh, jeez, I'll never forget that. But I'll also never forget that trip. That was good.
But the other thing is that boys are they're just easier on trips too. Like me and my brother didn't really argue or fight. We didn't argue or fight with our sisters. It's mostly the girls. Like if they're off on that day, you know, if they woke up on the wrong side of the bed, God help you. You know, it's oh, we're walking too much. Like it's too hot. It's too this. It's too that. I'm hungry now. It's like, just enjoy the trip. Like I got sick on the first couple days. Like my head was congested over there. Okay, and
Change in pressure.
I guess. You know, it could be, you know, something that you catch on the plane because of that stupid recycled air system that they have.
Right.
And so I was snoring really bad, my brother said, because me and him shared a room.
You usually snore pretty bad.
Nah, I don't snore that bad. I don't snore that bad. And
Well, I'll get into why I know that later. Anyway, continue. We
Fine.
haven't introduced our guest over here.
yeah,
yet,
let's
who's
introduce our
making
guest.
funny.
No, let's introduce
We
our
can't
guest.
yet.
Casey's
I can't introduce him yet. I don't have a camera on him.
There's
yet.
another camera on me.
oh yeah, okay.
Well, I still want to talk about Italy, but we have Casey Everett from Steadfast Plumbing on again. We actually we just did a field day with his hawks, and we went hunting, and it was awesome. So we're gonna get into some footage of that. But as far as Italy goes, what was the weather like over there?
Perfect.
It was perfect.
October, November is always, because last time I went October in Europe. It's the best time to go. Vacations are over for people. You know, people don't travel October, November really,
Yeah.
and the weather's still good over there. So,
All right. So you had a good time.
great time. And you should just go see it. Everybody should just go see it. You should go and see those places. I know it's not easy. I have the privilege of, you know, being able to go see it with my family, but
Did you saw the Colosseum and all that stuff?
I saw the Colosseum. The Colosseum's amazing.
The Vatican?
The Vatican is unbelievable. You can
See, that's what I want to see.
You
is
can
that
Vatican City. It's walled off.
That
The entire
architecture.
city is walled in. So it's
Oh.
its own place.
they have a wall around their city, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing. The entire place, every detail architecturally is stunning.
And it's thousands of years old.
Yeah, I saw Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel, and just the suffering, I guess. And like they talk about the suffering of like Michelangelo. It took him like 11 years, I think
Yeah.
it was, to paint the Sistine Chapel.
Laying on scaffolding.
Laying on scaffolding up like this, and I think he partially went blind because of
Yeah.
it, because they used to use like lead paint
Yeah.
or whatever.
It destroyed
And
his
it
eyes.
destroyed his eyesight. It's like, that's what I mean when I say suffering. It's like those sculptures, it took everything out of those people.
Did anything
But
move
they-
you to tears while you were there?
No.
No?
Tears?
Yeah. Like you look at something like that's just
And
glorious
you're looking at things, and I think to myself, wow, it's amazing. It felt powerful, is what it felt. It felt, yeah.
not even one tear.
No tears. It actually gave me, like, I would say, call it like a boost of testosterone. It was amazing.
It's what your ancestors built. It's impressive to go see. Anyway, well, I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you're back. You came back at busy season for sure. We're getting slaughtered right now.
You said you would take me off the messages for my vacation, off the
I
group chat
did.
messages.
Just so you could relax, but I didn't.
You didn't, and I just keep seeing panic.
I mean, listen, now's the time.
No,
to make,
Nancy, not this customer. That one.
Now,
All that stuff.
now's the time to make your money as a plumber, as a heating and plumbing guy is in the winter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously you do renovation stuff in it, but heating is where it's at for us. I mean, I tell people like boilers are our specialty and stuff, and you want to capitalize on that. So even when you were gone, I tried to take as much work as I could, but we have a pretty cool episode for you, like I said. So actually what I'm going to do, we're going to go to a quick break. I'm going to set up some camera work, and we're going to start talking about this awesome hunting field day with falconry with Casey that we did, and we'll get into it. But thanks for joining us.
Call Quartz Plumbing and Heating for top-rated service in Bergen County, New Jersey. And don't forget to keep treats for Frankie on hand.
Warning! The following segment may be offensive to some viewers who don't eat meat, and also to meat eaters who think meat comes from ShopRite.
It's been shush. I do all that.
Yeah,
All right, ready?
not really much blue collar. Well, listen, we have hobbies too, okay? We like to do things outside of plumbing and your water heater and being
Wait,
underneath
look.
your sink too.
These are our spoiled canines here.
We're gonna see some real canines today versus these two.
Well, we actually have a special episode today. We're going to follow up with Casey from Steadfast Plumbing in New Jersey Falconry and see some falcon hunting, which should be awesome.
This is the one that you said is like all business, right?
They're both of them are all business. My name is Casey Everett. I have a social media platform called NJ Falconry, and this is what I do for fun. I fly birds. I run little dogs that flush rabbits and squirrels, and we catch all kinds of stuff with the bird.
So what are we getting into today?
Today we're going to try to find some rabbits and hopefully some squirrels, and let the bird chase some squirrels around and rabbits, and then let them catch it like they would in the wild, let them eat it like they would in the wild. And basically we're here to just do some extreme bird watching.
Oh, yeah, get in there. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Jason, I got the throw it out from before. Throw it, let it run. Here, we got one. But it wasn't that exciting. You want to take it out?
You guys you both have young birds.
Good girl. Ginger, good girl. Ginger, they jump over her in the hole, I've noticed. This is a tail guard that protects the feathers. So when they're in the box, transport, or on the ground eating, sometimes the birds can be a little rough on their feathers. And just that is just a very thick rubber, like plastic, that helps to protect it, like when they're on the ground. So like a red-tailed hawk, their tail is like, for their body size, it's whatever it is. It's like a third. The accipiters, goshawks, Cooper's hawks, sharp-shinned hawks, their tail is extra long because they live in the forest and they have to make quick turns. So the tail is extra long, so it can become like a little bit like gets in the way when they're on the ground. Wild birds don't have a problem with their tail because they respect their tail. The imprints, this bird was raised from a chick. For whatever reason, they have like an issue with keeping their tail neat and clean. So
these birds are, especially the first year, they're very temperamental. He's flying, can't fly the same birds, but these are like the hardest birds. But
how'd you,
high risk, high reward, because they're like the fastest.
How'd you get into this?
Well, I've always been interested in hunting. I didn't grow up in a hunting family per se, but when I was 14, I got my hunting license because I wanted to go with a friend and a distant family member to go pheasant hunting. So I was into small game hunting. Got introduced to some falconers in the New Jersey State Club. Went to meet some of them. Asked a few questions.
How many guys are doing this? How many guys are in the New Jersey Club?
30, 40 people.
So I guess dachshunds are the breed to go.
Dachshunds, these dachshunds, for us, this is the best thing we got because every rabbit's important, and these dogs can go where all the rabbits go. They don't make a lot of noise. They're unassuming. They don't. If you're running beagles out here, they'd be howling.
Oh yeah.
And everybody in this neighborhood would know exactly.
I got
from half a quarter mile away, they'll hear the howl of beagles and come out and investigate. So it brings a lot of attention. Plus, the beagle can't get into where the dogs. So we'll do hole work. We'll do groundwork. We'll try to, even if the rabbit goes to ground, we'll try to get him out with the dachshund. And that'll produce a nice close slip for the bird. Slip is what we call it when you produce something for the bird to chase. So we call it a slip.
So So the bird just ate, right?
Yep.
Bird just had a meal.
So unlike mammals, they have a crop that stores all their food. And what happens now, he's not going to eat tomorrow. By Monday, he'll be ready to go back and hunt again.
It's like a giant stomach that's slowly digested.
I see.
Yeah, put the food down to the stomach because it crushes
Yeah,
all birds have a crop. And you can tell how much they eat just based on the size. He has a full crop.
So he'll be nice and satisfied tomorrow too.
Yes, and this is a positive experience for him. So he's like, okay, every time I catch a rabbit, I get a full meal. So it further encouraged them to make a kill every time.
It has more confidence, which means that they hunt better.
Now, what if you want to get multiple rabbits during the day? You won't give him the first several?
No, just give him a little piece. Let him pluck a little bit, and then he'll eat. And then
Then we normally do we like distract him with a piece of
it goes up.
Gotcha.
you could do like 1, 2.
Like the Grinch from the Grinch.
I mean, there's only so many rabbits because they're exerting themselves. But there's days when you go out, catch a rabbit in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, the bird didn't get a good workout. But there's days when you can catch one rabbit after an hour and a half of chasing the same rabbit. So you're going to give them that reward. You have to make that judgment.
Your dog is smart to hunt too.
Can you tell me what
And the
your
bird caught
experience?
the rabbit over a strange dog, which is perfect too, because now that it teaches the bird to not be so high-strung around other stimulus. So now it helps to be like, okay,
Shitty people and shitty dogs.
bad things are not going to always happen.
Yeah,
I know shit.
To be fair, take a picture of
You guys?
Look who we have again. It's Casey Everett.
Hello, everyone.
Steadfast Plumbing and NJ Falconry.
The people
glad to be here.
requested. The people requested that you come back.
Yeah, they
An
did.
encore.
Yeah.
A
Good.
little bit. I
Okay.
say half the room stood up.
Okay. All right.
Other half was passed out.
Other half did that.
No, that's the whole that falconry stuff was. We got good responses from that. People found that really interesting, and to be honest, so the reason why Casey's back is we did a field day, and he showed us some birds, and we're gonna play some footage during this episode. But we met his birds. We saw kind of how it goes down.
Yeah.
And these things are awesome. First of all, when you brought that first bird out, the white one, the goshawk,
Yeah.
and you'll see it in the video.
I'm going to continue
It's
calling it
so-
the Mongolian hawk.
The Mongolian hawk.
I like that one.
That thing is majestic.
Yeah, it's sick, right? It's
The
crazy.
eyes and like it's just perfectly designed to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. All business.
And then your two little dachshunds, your
Yeah.
bloodthirsty dachshunds.
Yeah.
These things are savages. They'll go all day, huh?
They don't stop, man. They just keep going and going and going. It's just part of their makeup. That's what they're bred for.
I remember when you pulled it out, when you pulled it out, the Mongolian hawk, when you took it out of the cage, I was like, can I pet it? Because it was like, it's a beautiful bird. And you're like,
you can try.
You can try, but I'm not giving you any promises. If he like goes after you, you can,
I
you
just
take
tightened down the leash, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead, try it. See what happens.
He let me pet him though. He
Yeah,
did.
that bird is like, I don't trust that bird.
They're intimidating looking.
Yeah.
Like
The eyes.
The eyes, like they're like peering into your soul.
Yeah.
So when I used to do swimming pools. I started out in maintenance and then ended up in construction. But I had a maintenance route. Like every day was a different maintenance route. We had this new Saddle River customer that we just built a swimming pool. So they're like, all right, Phil, go do the first maintenance on it. And I open the gate and in the backyard. And I'm walking with the hose and the vacuum. I walk into it and I see out of the corner of my eye on the deck this huge
Red-tailed hawk?
No, it was a
Dog?
dog.
Oh.
Why can't I think of the dog? What's the dog in Up with the really high
Doberman.
voice? The
Doberman.
Dude,
Oh,
with
yeah.
cropped
Oh, my
ears. Bro, that thing is just
I have a story that just recently happened.
Go for
with
it.
the Doberman.
No, I don't even know what it was on a job site.
What?
Dude, I'm trying to get this job wrapped up to get inspection. It's a quick story. Trying to get this job wrapped up to get inspection. It's dark. It gets dark at like 3 o'clock now.
Yeah.
So I leave all my tools there. I go to the supply house to grab parts. I come back. It's pitch black. I let myself in the gate. Dude, they let this monster.
You don't even know what it was.
They said that the contractor told me that it's a dog that's used to like hunt lions in Africa. It was like a pit bull, but like bigger than a Rottweiler. That's what it looked like. That's what the silhouette looked like, coming at
What?
me across the yard.
No.
Running, booking it.
Running, barking, bro. It was like right there, and I knew that. So I'm like yelling at it. I deal with dogs and animals and stuff. So I was like yelling at it, like kind of trying to like stop, like calm down, like kind of like show it that like I'm okay. Hey, it's okay, and it's like coming at me and then stopping every time I yell, then coming at me and stopping, and then the distance is continuing to shorten. Right then the lady hears me yelling. She opens up the door, and this is when I knew I needed to run. She opens up the door and just starts screaming bloody murder.
Oh my god.
Like, no, no.
Making the
starts yelling for
situation
her
worse.
husband.
Yeah.
Because that dog is like trained to
murderer.
attack people. Yeah, it's like, so I just started running. It's just, bro, I made it to the sliding door, jumped in, slammed it closed.
Where was
She comes to
this?
the top of the stairs. This is
What
in
town?
Wanacue.
Why do people
Nice
have-
house. It was a nice
I
house.
don't get it.
Who
I
wants,
don't know.
Who wants a dog?
Bro, people that don't know how to fight. That's all it comes
Yeah.
down to.
Who wants
So
a
then-
dog that
so
can
then-
murder you?
Like normal customers, when the dog is a little too excited, right?
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, I'm so sorry." He's usually
Yeah.
really friendly. She comes to the top of the stairs and goes, "Thank God you're okay."
Jeez.
Oh my
So that's not the
God.
response that I thought I was. So I said, "Thank God I ran," because at first I thought I was being like like a
Right.
wuss. Like I'm like,
Right.
I just, bro, I never ran from an animal in my life. I just when one of my birds like attacked me.
Do you think you could like fight it if it came
No,
up
no,
to
it
you?
would have killed me.
Oh.
It would have. It was
Of course,
huge.
it doesn't matter.
Its head was.
He
its
said
head
it takes
was like
down
this.
lions. He said it takes down lions.
Yeah, but there's some men that have taken down lions.
Yeah, with a spear maybe.
yeah.
I was in the pitch black. I couldn't see anything. I
He
just
had a
saw like a
garden
head.
hose.
You didn't have like a pipe wrench or anything?
He had a
I had
garden
an
hose.
armful of material. I had a couple like inch and a half 90s. Like, what am I gonna do?
They're PVC. It does nothing.
PVCs. I could do anything. So like, I literally I ran and like, I felt kind of like when I got inside, I was like, like sometimes they get like that, in a customer's house and they sniff you and then they like wag their
Yeah.
tail. Like, I was like, did I really need to like do that? Like I was embarrassed. But then when she said like, thank God you're okay.
Yeah.
That means I did the right thing to run because
Yeah.
that. And then the contractor, he said, "Oh, he's like, I told that guy to keep the dog in the house. I'm gonna call him." I'm like, "It's not his fault. It was dark. I left. She didn't know if she thought I left.
Yeah.
Like, they let it out to go to the bathroom, and I
Right.
walked back in the dark. Like, how are they supposed to know?"
That's it. I mean, we ride around with dogs. It's clear. They're all over our marketing, and you see them in the truck. I don't have too many problems with dogs generally, but remember that one renovation that we were doing in the kitchen? And they're not big dogs. They're little Shih Tzus.
Yeah.
And then
they're little,
Yorkies.
Yorkies. They're
And
little
I told
Yorkies.
him,
They'll bite you.
and I told him, I told him that one of the dogs like nipped at me, like he bit me, and he goes, "Did he nipped at you?" Like it's a Yorkie, so like you kind of
Yeah.
like that. You
But it's
kick him
still
away.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
But it's obnoxious and it's annoying, and you don't want
They'll
to do
put
that.
holes in your leg. You're
Yeah.
not paying
and then
attention.
like I
Exactly.
don't. So we were sitting there doing the kitchen, and they, like, the wife is just oblivious, and we're
Bro.
sitting there for 3 hours.
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
3 hours. The one dog sat
Bark,
and
bark,
barked
bark,
for 3
bark,
hours.
bark. And
I'm
they
like,
think it's cute. The
is
homeowner
this
thinks it's cute.
bothering you?
I'm like, put the dog. Like they have no concept. They
Every-
think it's cute that their dog is
Bro,
barking. at
every
them.
bark, $30 added to the invoice.
Literally, dude. Literally.
Or they do like
just
this.
like-
Oh, just stop it. Just stop it, Floofies. Just stop it. Stop. He's friendly, and it's like the dog is not responding to
No,
that. Take him
no.
and put him someplace
Yeah,
else.
if Frankie's like busting chops or something, I pick her up and I put her in another closed door room.
Yeah. If Ginger's giving like the Amazon guy a hard time, all I got to do is just like open up the door and just say, "Hey, hey,"
Yeah.
done. Runs back. To
Well,
the
your dog
porch,
is
sits.
trained. Your
Yeah.
dog is trained.
Don't
by
get an
you.
animal if you're not gonna like.
Yeah, if
you know
you're
what
not
I
gonna
mean?
train it.
Yeah.
Like I literally had a dog. I was under a sink working, and it's standing, and it's standing in between my legs, just barking under the sink like this for like an
And the
hour.
homeowners does not do it. Like,
Yeah, and I don't
And
have
they're
the heart to
they're-
say anything to them. Like, what are you know what I mean? Like, it's my customer.
I
Like,
finally said something to this woman.
He did. Yeah, he said
I finally
something.
said, "Listen, you have to
put
get
your
these out of
damn
here.
dog away before
We're
I.
trying to work."
'Cause it bit
you know
me.
how much-
And,
Yeah.
he bit me, and he gave me a black and blue, and I was like,
Dude, you should have just grabbed your leg and just fell over.
I told
super dramatic.
I
called the
told him
cops.
I told him before he went over to her. I was like, "Listen, I yeeted the dog. Like I kicked him. I kicked him away.
Backhanded him.
No, I kicked him.
You took your day out on him.
I didn't take my
Yeah.
day out on him, but when he bit me, my reaction was to
Yeah.
like I used to play soccer, so
All
my
your
reaction
pent
was
up
just,
anger from taking orders all day. You just took
Exactly.
it out on that little Yorkie.
Phil. And I told him, I said, if
Dog's traumatized
if
now?
the dog has a limp,
Good.
it was me. Like
Yeah.
But he told her, and she did move the dog at that
She
point.
finally did it.
But
Yeah. No, they're all like that too.
Yeah.
And even like back to the falconry thing, even when I'm like flying my birds and like stuff like that, and I'm like maybe like in a public property, but like close to houses, people don't know what you're doing, so they let the dog out, and the dog just stands at the fence and barks for like an hour.
Yeah, I know.
And then they just stand there and they look out the window like this, and the dog just bark for an hour. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like,
You
put
gotta
your
bring
dog
treats.
away.
Oh, you gotta bring treats and just throw them in the yard.
Yeah, dude, I just don't like. It just infuriates me. Some like if you're not gonna take the time to train it, like
Then don't get
they
it.
don't get it.
get
Or
it.
if you have a dog like this that's very mellow, like you don't have to do much with it. They're
Right.
calm.
Get
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, don't get something that's like a high energy like dog, or it's a dog that can hurt somebody. I got bit on a job site one time.
Bad.
Yeah, I had to go to the hospital.
Is that why you're so rich? Is that where you got all your money from?
Bro, I wasn't I wasn't gonna do anything. I was like, whatever.
But then she blamed you for the
No,
bite.
dude, literally. So the dog, I'm rolling up a hose next to the front door. I was like 18, I think. I'm rolling up a hose next to a front door, and the wife of this beautiful giant house opens up the door, and she's going to take the dog for a walk. It just runs straight up to me and just latches onto my stomach.
Really?
Oh yeah, and just starts like shaking. And, like,
What
yeah.
was it?
It was a lab. It was a
oh, so
yellow
that's
lab.
a big dog.
A vicious
that's not even
lab?
a
I've
yellow
never
lab.
seen that in my life.
Yeah. So then I'm like, I like jump off the stairs, and she had the leash, and it was holding on so like when I jumped, like I couldn't jump, and then like
Oh my
when
gosh.
it slipped off of my shirt, it was in the middle of the winter, so I had like
You had layers.
layers. It took all the layers off down to my skin. And
Oh
its mouth,
my goodness.
and then jumped from my face, and she like almost fell over.
And she got mad at you?
No, she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Da, da, da. This and that. I go to the hospital. I was bleeding all over the place. So I go to the hospital, and then the guy called. No, my boss called. I won't say who he is, because people will know.
Yeah, don't.
They called. You know, he called the owner of the house. You know, the husband or whatever, and said the dog just attacked my guy. Whatever, going to the hospital. And he goes, "Oh, this and that. I'm so sorry."
whatever it is at the hospital, just send me like whatever. I'll pay for it, whatever. Anyway, a couple months go by. I'm like 18. I have no money. I'm getting paid like minimum wage. I get a bill for like $400 in the mail. That's like 2 weeks worth of pay for me. So I'm like, I give it to my boss. Like my mom could have paid it, but I gave it to my boss. I said,
No, you give it to the boss.
So he goes. So he calls the customer, and like the next day he comes in and he just like nonchalantly says, "Yeah, he's not going to pay it." He says that you shouldn't have been standing so close to the door. The wife said that you were standing too close to the door, and the dog felt threatened, and he wants the dog to, be protected. So like the dog did the right thing.
No, that guy would have lost miserably in court.
Well, so then I just simply called my friend who flies birds, who's a lawyer, and he goes, "Oh, this is very easy."
Killed the dog.
Yeah, we just murdered the dog. We just went back at night and just killed the
10
dog.
hawks.
All of our hawks just killed the dog. Slowly. No, so we just he just told me what to do. He just file a police report, whatever. I just wanted to make sure the thing had its shots. Like it took made holes in me.
Yeah.
And so the guy, this is what screwed him, and this is what costed him not that much money, but some money, is that he got scared that the dog was going to get put down because it probably did this before. So he moved it to one of his other properties. So when the cops went to the house to gather the paperwork, he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And they're like, "Yeah, well, this kid has holes in his stomach, and we have a witness, and yeah, so we need the paper." And then it all went back and forth. Anyway, we had to go to so anyway, long story short, we went to and I was like very overweight back then.
I keep hearing these stories. I'll take your word for it, but
I was very overweight.
Oh, overweight.
Overweight.
I thought you were going to say I was very in shape back then.
I was. I could send you some pictures for the episode. I was
Listen,
shredded.
he latched onto your stomach, so there had to
Yeah, it was like blubber, bro. It was like a whale. And he grabs everything, and then so we have to go to like the insurance, like the big, whatever, the headquarters, like a high rise, and we went up, and there's like conference room, like from a movie,
Yeah.
Patrick Bateman, and we're like sitting there with all these lawyers for the company. And I had to like take my shirt off like in there, and I'm like, my rolls are hanging over, and my lawyer's hilarious. And he goes, so now obviously my client's modeling career is over, so he cannot model anymore. And everyone starts laughing. And then anyway, like I was just a kid, like I'm 18, I didn't know.
Right.
He's like, what do you want to get out of this? I don't know, some money. He goes, well, how much? I don't know, maybe like $500. He goes, all right, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. So he's in there and he's like
$500.
He's like 65.
Yeah, they do that. That's what they
25.
do. Yeah.
No, they were like 10. And I'm thinking 100, like $6,500. We ended up selling for like $25,000. I was like,
oh wow.
I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So he took whatever, a third, and then I just like
Yeah, they do take a big
bought
chunk.
like 10 $500 pairs of jeans and like gave my friends money. And I think I did pay off my car at the time because I just got like a Subaru and I think I paid it off. But that was the whole story. I didn't want to sue the guy. I really didn't. I was just like, whatever. But he wanted to play. I'm like, all right, you want to be like that, dude?
You want to be a crook.
Stupid dog attacks me. It's not my fault. I'm just
like
doing
you
my
could
job.
either pay the $400 medical bill,
Literally, dude,
or we can do this route.
He's a Demarest.
Yeah.
So don't work in Demarest.
That's snooty town. I had when I was young, maybe 21, 22, I got hit by a car, rear-ended, actually, at like 28 miles
Did you just
an hour.
open up this door and just fall out onto the ground?
No, but so the cop came,
clutching your neck,
and the lady was screaming at the cop and screaming at me. She rear-ended me, like it was obvious.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Listen, lady, if he wants to turn around and sue you, he can. Like,
Yeah.
shut up right now."
Yeah.
So she was really being a jerk.
Yeah.
And then you get all the letters in the mail from like the chiropractors and the doctors come in for this, the lawyers and all that stuff. So I answered one. So they said, okay, you got to go to the doctor this many times a week, yada yada. The chiropractor do this, do that. I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then I met with a lawyer one time. Okay, we discussed it, and he put me on some kind of thing. 12, 13 months later, I meet with him again. He's like, all right, we got you a settlement. I didn't go to court once.
Wow.
Nothing.
Nice.
It just showed up.
He just wants the money. Yeah, he's working in the background, just trying to get you.
And that's it. He's like, here, you want
easy money, basically.
And I think the total thing, I can't remember what the total was, but I walked away with like 12 grand.
Nice.
Because they took something else. Nice. It was the wrong time in my life to give
me
12 grand. Yeah. It was really
overdosed instantly.
And came back.
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, listen, I don't want to get in too much detail, but there was a lot of that.
Like 3 days later.
It was. I
See
was
the
able
movie
to
Train
joking
Spotting?
everybody. It's just a joke.
It was train spotting for like a week and a half. I did buy a car.
You bought a car?
I did buy a car with it.
Didn't even negotiate. You were just like,
I'm like,
I'm rich now.
Yeah, just
I'm
make
rich
it
now.
rain.
Whatever.
I'm like Hawthorne
drive?
Chevy.
All right. Yeah.
But the rest of it was just done. But anyway,
That's funny.
dogs. We were talking about dogs, and you said Ginger. So
Ginger, yeah.
So you
the
pull up,
long-haired miniature dachshund, yeah.
and you know what's so funny is like the brush that we were hunting in is so high, but you see like
Her
the little
tail.
tails just walking, just going around and like going
Like
nuts.
little
Just
flags.
trailing.
Dude,
I'm
it's
here. This is where she's
it's
like.
so funny. Like I would never look at a dachshund and think hunting dog, but I can't believe how in it these things are.
That's like literally what they're bred for.
I know.
I got in an argument with my brother-in-law about it. He's like, those are not hunting dogs. I'm like,
Well, didn't you tell me when we did the hunting trip? Didn't you say that only until recently they weren't really used as hunting dogs? You said that somebody found out that that they have a very high propensity for
no,
flushing?
they're bred for going, technically, the full-size ones. So there's miniatures and then there's standards. The standards were bred originally to go down badger holes and like bay the badger so that they could kill it because like landowners and stuff like that. So then the Germans started breeding smaller ones to use for like rabbits and other like vermin and stuff like that to go in the holes and get them out.
Right.
Then people are isolating different traits of the dogs. So like the dogs that we have in the U.S., there's breeders that isolate for the size.
Here, be conscious of the mic.
To make them smaller, right, to get in the holes. And then there's breeders like where Ginger came from, where she isolates for size and the nose quality. So like dogs with a good nose are bred with dogs with good nose, and you get so generation you get dogs that can like really track very well and have a really good nose on them. So that's what Ginger has. So when I cut her loose, she knows if there's like if the wind is coming, she knows that the field has rabbits in it.
Immediately.
She knows it the minute we get out of the car.
Really?
Yeah, because I know, and I've only learned this recently from a couple of mentors of mine, because like I'm like, the dog's like, she's not doing anything. They're like, she knows that there's nothing there. That's why she's not going in. But you'll see, you get to another spot, you get out of the car, you gear
And then
up,
she starts going
and she
nuts.
just takes off into the brush.
Well, when
Because
we-
she knows something's there. and
When
she's
we
trying to
pulled
find
up
it.
back there and we all parked, she gets out. and
was so
was it,
funny.
I'm putting
3 minutes later.
I literally pulled a bird out. I'm trying to put like the transmitter. We have transmitters on the bird so we can find them later. And she goes under a shipping container
Yeah.
and a rabbit shoots
And
out.
takes a
I'm like,
rabbit
oh
out.
my gosh, like we should have waited.
I know.
Yeah, she
missed
knows.
it.
Like she's too good for her own
He's
good.
just
Sometimes.
yelling at it. Ginger, come here, Ginger, Ginger.
Yeah.
So the white hawk is the goshawk, and the other more chill one is what type of hawk
the
was
black
that?
one?
Yeah,
That's a Harris hawk.
a Harris hawk.
Yeah, it's a Harris hawk.
What's his name? They got names or no?
I forgot the name, to be honest. It's not
You
my
don't-
bird.
Really?
It's not my bird. I
Are
forgot
you
the name.
training it for someone? Someone was going to take it from you, right?
The white one or the black one?
Well, which one was
The brown one?
The brown one.
Oh, the brown one's mine.
Okay.
Yeah, her name is Betsy.
Okay.
Yeah, after Davy Crockett's favorite hunting rifle.
Oh wow.
That's a good name, right?
Yeah, that is a good name.
a good name.
I actually like that.
Yeah. So so I named her Betsy, and she's a goshawk also.
Uh-huh.
She's genetically basically identical to the white one. They're the same exact
really?
bird.
Really?
They're the same exact bird. It's like a white-tailed deer in Florida that's 60 pounds, and a white-tailed deer in Canada that's 160 pounds.
I mean, the brown
It's the
one.
same exact thing.
The brown one looks like the white one's more unsuccessful, like cousin or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Listen, you view it that way.
It was a
but
little shaggy.
Yeah. The brown one is actually going to molt out, drop all of her feathers, and grow new ones in the spring, and she's going to look gray and have blood red eyes. So if you look it up, northern goshawk, they're really cool looking birds. So they're the same exact bird. The white one is from Siberia, so it's a subspecies from Siberia that lives in like the tundra and the Arctic up there. So like the white, they just blend right in, and they hunt ptarmigan and snowshoe hare and all kinds of stuff like that. The North American, they also do hunt ptarmigan, snowshoe hare up in Canada, but then they hunt a lot of squirrels,
Right.
A lot of birds. They like birds and ducks, pheasant, grouse. They eat. Basically, the goshawk eats almost anything.
Okay.
Pretty much, because they're so athletic, they can catch anything.
I mean, it looks it.
Yeah, they're
That bird is just.
yeah.
When you pulled that thing out, I was so impressed.
The white one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that gets everybody. It's
It's
a
like-
crazy
yeah.
bird.
So you got these things, and last episode we talked about. You started this in like middle school. You're a homeschooled kid. You started
Yeah.
doing this in middle school.
Yeah.
The average time to take with a bird to be able to get it and take it out how we did. How long does that take? You get the bird at what age?
So like raising one from a chick,
Well,
because that's like days and weeks and weeks.
yeah, not that. The way
Yeah,
you
but like
do it.
so the traditional way of falconry is you trap a bird from the wild,
Yeah.
put a hood over its head, which blocks out any vision, and they're visually stimulated. So once you block out the eyes with this little device that goes over their head, they can't see anything, so they just instantly just like freeze.
You're mine now. I'm
Yeah,
taking you home
basically. And you basically take the hood off.
Do you send a ransom
in
to
a
his
darkened
parents?
place? You send a ransom note first, obviously,
With a picture,
of course,
on like a flip phone.
Yeah.
We have your falcon. No, you send a fucking note on a pigeon.
Yeah.
We
And
have
then
your
eat the pigeon
falcon.
and read the note. And so you take the hood off, and then it's just a slow process of getting the bird to trust you and this and that. But long story short, just a couple weeks.
That's
so like,
it?
Literally a wild bird. 3 weeks later, you could theoretically be flying it free and calling it back to you.
How often do you lose a bird?
Nowadays, you don't lose birds that often because we have like GPS, transmitters, all kinds of stuff, like fancy stuff we could find the bird. I have a GPS and I have an app.
Well, you said
they have an app on
yours-
my phone.
Yeah, you
that I can
showed-
literally see where the bird is at all times.
Well, I will say, someone on your video on the last episode commented, they go, why don't you ask Casey how many birds he's lost?
Yeah.
That was one of the comments. I
I've
don't know
only
who it was.
lost, I lost a peregrine falcon.
Those are the fastest animals in the world,
Yeah,
right?
they're crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, that bird took off. It was a wild bird also, and it took off on me like they're very migratory driven. So I was training it,
okay,
and then flying it free during that time, and literally I lost sight of it for like 15 minutes, and then I didn't have the GPS, but I didn't have I bought it later,
right?
But I had just a regular transmitter, and the signal was like south, just barely. And it goes like 30 miles, the transmitter.
Holy cow.
So I'm like, crap. So I just got in the car and started speeding after it. It was just like a 2-day chase.
You're like going through
he was
people's
just
property.
Yeah, no, I was in the car going like from Emerson to Hackensack.
Oh my god.
To the Meadowlands.
No way.
Down to the
How would you
beach.
even get him back?
You just they're trained. The bird was trained. So if I swung, but I only had it for a short period
Yeah.
of time. So when it lost sight of me, it was just like, where's the guy who gives me food? All right, whatever. I'm just gonna migrate because that's what I gotta migrate, and it just started going south, migrating.
Wow.
And it's just gone forever. And that it happens, but they just go right back into the wild.
They do
It's
their
not-
thing,
there's-
yeah.
It
there's
kind
no-
of happened like what you said. They kind of have a mind of their own, although they're attached to you. But when we were hunting,
Exactly,
when
yeah.
we went
Yeah.
out, he kind of took off from you because you're like, it's not his season, and he's kind of bored.
Yeah.
The problem is the bird. Number one, when the temperature is warm, all animals, deer, anything, they're more calm because they're not burning calories.
Okay.
So if you notice on a cold day, you'll see deer like out in people's yards and stuff like that because
Right.
they're eating. They just
Okay.
get like this stimulation to just feed because it's cold and they're burning calories. So the day we went, number one, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, blazing sun, and it was like 80 degrees. So the bird, I don't really adjust the weight for hunger because I raise it from a chick, so I don't have to do too much adjustment. So the bird was like heavier in weight. It was warm. Sun was out. And the bird's like, I don't know who these people are. Like, all right, I'm out of here. I don't need you. So if the weight was more adjusted and it was colder, the bird would have been a completely different.
Wow.
So it's like there's
That's
all these different
interesting.
factors that play into it. You know what I mean? So it's not like we're just like starving the bird to make it hungry.
Yeah.
You want the bird to be fit and athletic and strong, but yet have an edge on it so that it wants to chase and hunt stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't want to push the edge too
Yeah.
far because then you're interfering with the physical performance of the bird. It's like counterintuitive.
I gotcha.
So that was the
makes
incident
sense.
we had. And the bird that we flew next, if you want to get into that,
Absolutely.
the black one, the Harris hawk that young girl brought. That bird, they don't even live up here. They can't handle the cold. They live in the south.
Oh, so she can't even take it out during the winter.
She can, but
She
they'll
put a
fly
jacket
for
on.
like a couple hours and then they just start getting cold. They tuck their feet and stuff.
Oh.
So that's why I don't fly those birds because I like going out in the
Yeah.
winter in the snow. They'll hunt in the snow. They'll chase in the snow. They're good birds. But when it's like wicked cold out, like they don't. It could
say
be literally
wicked?
wicked, bro.
Did you ever live in the north? Did you ever live in New England?
No, is that what they say?
Oh my gosh, Boston! Everything's wicked up
Wicked
there.
smart.
Wicked
Wicked
smart.
smart.
Nobody.
No, I just get wicked from Ali G. Wicked.
Wow, what a throwback!
Throwback. No, I don't know. I just say it. The so that bird doesn't even live up here. So 80 degrees with a nice breeze.
Okay.
The bird's like, let's go, let's catch
Yeah.
something. This is perfect for me.
Uh-huh.
So that bird was game, and that bird, their whole mindset is completely different. They're just they hunt in a community. So if my hawk, the white one and the brown one, if they see each other in the wild, they might try to kill each other and chase
Right.
each other around and fight for dominance. The Harris hawk, you can look up videos of a Harris hawk hunting in a group. I've seen guys out west, and even in like when we've gone out like at our annual meet, guys will take one Harris hawk, another Harris hawk. They'll have 6 Harris hawks hunting like through the trees, following, because they hunt in groups. So they're community oriented like wolves. So like they don't mind having people on. They're like, oh cool, more people to help with this hunt that we're on. So that's why that bird was just like, it was just so calm.
It was calm, and to be honest, we were all walking through the field. It was really cool because we were all walking through the field, the dogs are going through, and the hawk is sitting on a tree, and we'll go 20 feet, and then it'll fly to the next tree and just kind of walk down the field with us like a dog.
Like a dog, yeah.
Even more impressive than your connection with the bird is the connection that the bird has with the dogs.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah,
because falconry is a naturally occurring. I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode.
A little bit.
Falconry is a naturally occurring thing. It happens every day. So like as soon as the bird like learns that when my dog is barking in excitement, they recognize the noise. My bird will come flying right past me like 50 miles an hour to get to where the dog is, because when the dog is whining and barking, that means she's on a hot scent and something's about to happen.
Okay.
So the bird knows I got to get there to see what's going to happen. So the Harris hawk and the goshawk and red-tailed hawk and most hawks that are used in falconry and falcons, they know if they stay right with the group, eventually one of their prey items is going to run and they're going to catch it.
Yeah, but
and they're going to get a reward.
That's not in my head. Nah, I might be wrong, but that's not a natural connection. That's like the connection between a dog and a bird. That doesn't happen in the wild. That's some sort of weird.
It does,
innate,
it does kind of, because wolves will make a kill.
Oh yeah, they'll
Ravens will follow.
Yeah.
Then the ravens draw in the raptors, and the raptors come in. So it is kind of it is happening
a little bit. Yeah,
it is happening. And then deer walking through brush to go out to feed. The rabbits flush, and then the hawks learn that when the deer are walking through the field, the mice and rabbits are kind of moving. So then they come at night. They'll sit and wait for the deer. So then they move, and you know what I mean. So they all kind of like they're feeding off of different stimulus to get their food.
They're like little vultures. They're all form of little.
They're all just trying
vultures.
to get like the easiest meal that they can.
Yeah.
So falconers, we show the bird that the easiest meal that you're going to get. That's why the wild ones come around so quick, because they learn during the training process, I don't have to sit out in a freezing cold night and chase the squirrel around trees and freeze freeze and get hurt, or a predator's going to kill me. This guy just offers me food on a glove, and I just hop and get it. This is like it's basically the equivalent of free money. So they just do it, and they think it's awesome, and then eventually you teach them to not fly away, and then they'll come back to you when you call them, and then you flush something that they love to catch, and then they realize, oh, this guy is actually helping me do what I do, but it's even easier now. And when I miss, I don't freeze to death at night. He's going to take me home and put me in a nice chamber, and I'm going to get free food. That's why it works so well.
We're all looking for an easy meal.
We're always looking for the free handout, bro.
That's why McDonald's is so popular.
That's right. That's right.
So we had we caught a couple things, small things, but things nonetheless.
Yeah.
We had it was pretty cool. The place we were at, it was kind of like, well, I don't want to say where.
It's like industrial.
It's like a little industrial spot.
Yeah.
Great for photography, for photographing those birds.
Yeah.
But what was so funny was when we caught that rabbit. I don't have footage of it, unfortunately. I had the aftermath.
Send it to you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Send it to me.
Yeah. It's not the best, but I got it.
I've never knew you can do this with rabbits. What was your buddy's name?
Pecorn.
So one of the dogs flushes a rabbit out of the hole. The two of the dogs.
They were all in the brush, and I don't know which dog flushed it. I think it was his dog that flushed it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because it was right there.
Flushes it, kills it, and the guy picks it up to gut it, and all you do is basically just grab the rabbit, and you just go, hey! Like that, and it just squirts out everything.
You said to him, show him how you get a rabbit. He's like, nah, I don't want to do that right now. Yeah. And I'm standing right there.
New people in the field, you don't want to.
And I'm standing right there, and he just goes, all right, and he turns at me, and he just squeezes it like a toothpaste tube, like right at me, and I'm like,
literally.
Okay, you can give somebody a warning.
You just like squeeze the rib cage, and you just kind of like work it down. And then everything just like releases inside of the rabbits after it's dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it was dead.
And then you just squeeze it, and then it just goes into the bottom, and the skin's so thin that you just add a little pressure, and it just like all of the guts and all of the bad stuff just falls right out, and you have just clean meat inside. It's perfect.
And then he gave his little dachshund. He takes
the dogs a reward. Yeah,
takes the liver, fresh, still warm.
Yeah, they love that.
I don't know. I don't know what these guys would do with that.
I feel like they'd probably. Well, maybe not this one, but the other one would probably eat it.
She's pretty
gamey.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think
the other one's way pickier.
She would eat anything.
Really?
Yeah, he's picky as
a lot of them can't
can
resist some nice meat.
Let's see,
know.
maybe.
The dachshunds for sure, they love it. Ginger, she knows, and she learns that if she's not performing well, and we don't catch anything at the end of the hunt, she goes in her crate on the ride home. She doesn't get her treat.
Oh,
yeah. So when she hunts well, you see her. She's like at the truck like this,
like all cocky,
bouncing back and forth, like waiting for her piece.
I'm getting them treats on the way home.
Yeah, we all get. Yeah, and they you can get more out of one of my dogs with a rabbit leg than you could get with any kind of treat that you could buy at Petco.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a really cool thing. So there were about 5 of us out there, right?
Yeah.
And one of your buddies with his daughter who's into falconry, who handles it great.
Yeah, she's great.
Her bird was really
that's a good bird. She did a good
really
job.
Cool. Yeah. It's smaller than the ones you had.
Yeah, it's a male.
A male.
The
Harris?
males is a male Harris hawk, and they're smaller than the females. So the females are 1/3 larger than the males.
Okay.
So it's a pretty dramatic difference. It's not super dramatic, but when you're looking at it, it's pretty noticeable that it's a smaller bird.
So it's like married couples in West Virginia.
Pretty much.
All right. That's how you know.
They keep you. There's a saying in Maine. I can't remember the saying now. We have a bunch of friends in Maine that fly birds. And they give you shade. The women up north give you shade in the summer and warmth in the winter. That's what they say.
It was Leroy Wheat. A fat woman in a farm never did a man no harm or something like that.
We went to what was it, like the 4th episode we did? We went out to Ohio. We were supposed to interview with this Amish. My dad's really good friends with the Amish community.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was going to do an interview. And I was so pumped. We were so excited because, first of all, this dude has such an interesting story. They do Rumspringa when they're young, and they get 2 years out in the real world. And if they want to come back, they can come back. For his Rumspringa, he followed Johnny Cash around the country.
Oh wow!
So he's got really, really cool stories.
When Johnny Cash was playing in like auditoriums, high school auditoriums.
Cool. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Did you ever talk to him or no?
Johnny Cash?
No, the guy from.
We go out there all the time. Yeah. Max has met him a bunch of times.
Did you interviewed him? Did I miss that episode?
So we went out there, and the last minute, he got cold feet.
He's like, no technology.
So the Amish, they use technology. He has an e-bike.
They're riding e-bikes everywhere.
But what do they use? Like a solar panel, so they don't
use solar.
So they don't go to hell.
Now they're at solar.
He's got a really cool setup too, with the solar.
So the Amish community right now is really rocky because it's becoming very modernized very quickly because of solar.
Right, because they're not breaking any rules by using the sun to charge their batteries.
Exactly,
to go on the internet.
The whole thing, this is why Amish don't use electricity and why they're not modernized. The Amish as a whole despise government.
Dude, maybe I'm Amish.
I think we all might be.
I think I'm a
You
little
got a ways
Amish.
to go in that beard. They have beard, and you got to lose the mustache. As far as technology goes, when solar came out, when like people could actually use solar, now you have kids that have iPhones and iPads and stuff, and they prepay it because they're not on any plan or anything like that. So they have 4G. Like there's Amish people making YouTube videos, legit Amish people, and the community is really
up in arms about it.
This is how you know we're in a difficult spot with this country is when the Amish now, which is the last beacon of American purity, is now being
tainted,
yeah. And he just was like, you know what, it's not a good time. But I don't know.
He thought it was going to encourage the.
He just didn't want anything to get out. I'm like, dude, no one's going to.
He's more old school, and
no one.
If you could get somebody younger, probably. We wanted him because he had older stories.
It sounds like he has a cool story.
Oh,
I want to hear it now,
dude. Well, every time I go out there, we always go hang out with Leroy and Verna. We take them out. We took them out to eat we took them to this awesome restaurant next to this winery. They know all the good spots.
Yeah.
I mean,
you take him in the car. Is he allowed to go in a car with you?
Yeah, they're allowed to ride in a car.
Yeah, but they have little.
They get like scared in the car.
No.
This carriage is very fast.
When we went to this restaurant,
where's the horse underneath?
Where's the horse in this vehicle?
There's 62 horses in this engine right now. Okay. But when we went out to the restaurant and winery,
that is retarded.
Sorry, just trying to be.
Go
ahead. Sorry, the restaurant.
When we go to the restaurant and the winery, there's like young girls that are Amish pulling up with their horse and buggy, parking. There's like little bars where they park their horse and buggy, and that's where they leave them until they're done. You know?
Do they drink? No, right?
Yes.
Some of them,
Some of
yeah.
them do. They don't get drunk.
Right.
But we gave them, like, as a thank you for, like, hanging out, we gave them a couple bottles of wine.
Cool.
And they're not going to really drink in public.
Right.
And this guy, we're out there, and he's, like, trying to, like, mack it to Amish girls everywhere we went.
Bro, that's what you need, to be honest.
Well, they
You gotta wait till they go on Rumspringer, and then you just grab them. Because they'll be the best wives.
Like
they
the Falcon.
can do everything that you
like
need
the
them to
Falcon,
do.
you just put a bag over their head.
Put the hood
grab
over her
them.
head like this real quick. Put the Jesses.
her in the back.
Take it off in a dark room. Works every time, bro. It works every
If
time.
you give her treats every once in a while,
Just
she'll keep
dangle
going
treats,
back.
liver
a
in
little
front
bit
of
of
her.
compliments here and there, it's perfect. She'll cook, she'll clean, everything you need.
Oh, that is so funny.
Honestly, that's what you need because these girls nowadays, they're, you know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
want to do anything.
Dude, it's crazy.
They're fighting the system.
By the way, that's where the term
if I
bag.
was single, I would either go all the way down south, South America, or I'd probably get an Amish girl that's probably like
Or Eastern European.
Eastern European that understand, you know,
Yeah.
like they could. It's just the whole thing in America is counterintuitive.
Yeah.
That these girls, they think they're being like empowered and they're just making
not. It's
they're
like-
making their life harder because they're not.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal.
It's not.
It's not normal for the
But
human race. It just
men are
doesn't
doing
make
the
sense.
same thing. Like we are stepping out of the roles that naturally we're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And there's nothing
We're
wrong
being
with
feminized.
that. Yeah.
We're being
a big-
castrated chemically by the food we eat.
I was gonna say a lot of the feminization is because of how much soy and stuff is in
well,
our
you,
food.
you guys were talking before about food and stuff. Like literally, I'm convinced
They're
not to get
turning the
too
freaking frogs
conspirator-
gay.
Yeah, they turn the frogs gay. They're gonna like. I think that the big agriculture and food is in bed with the pharma industry. And one's making you sick,
The FDA,
and the other one,
dude.
and
What
the
does-
other
what
one
does
is
the
making
FDA
you
stand
better
for? What
or
does the
treating your
F-
symptoms.
What does FDA stand for? The Food and Drug Administration. Why
Yeah.
is food and drug
Right.
together?
Because they're putting them together
Exactly.
and feeding them to you.
And,
And then you're getting sick, and then Big Pharma is making you better
It's true.
or just masking your symptoms and making money off you.
There's been a huge awakening of that since COVID, and I'm happy for it because
Me
there
too.
really has been
It's crazy.
a lot of people who you never would pay attention to before. Now they're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, and there's,
Like Bobby
What?
Kennedy.
I wanted to get into that.
We can get into that
I wanted
later.
to get into that actually.
Yeah.
So you had posted, how long ago was this?
It was like maybe 3 weeks ago.
You know what? Before we get into that, I do want to take a break.
Go ahead.
But
No problem.
I do want to talk about that because that's really cool. Like,
Yeah, it was
just
a fun
to see
experience.
like the falconry community.
Yeah.
Was awesome. But
Yeah, yeah.
and you posted a ton of content on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Is it still up there? Because I'll tell people to go check. it
Yeah,
out.
and I have a whole reel that I'm going to put out. I'm just waiting for the right time to put it out.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't I keep you're probably the same way with your episodes.
No, as soon as I make something, I pump it out.
Oh, because I want it to be like, 'cause it's so cool. Like I was with him and flying birds with him. I want it to be the right, sound
Oh,
on
yeah, I have-
Instagram
What
and
was
like
that,
the
Bobby?
right edit.
What do you? Would you fly
he's a
falcons with him?
He's a falconer.
Yeah?
yeah.
You flew falcons with him?
Yeah, he did a whole
Recently?
did a whole photo shoot with my bird.
No,
On
you
his
didn't.
Instagram?
No, you did not.
He did a whole
not
photo
share
shoot
that
with my
me.
bird. Like,
and
bro,
you didn't share that with me just the same way you didn't answer my text.
bro, I get
before.
like 5,000
Yeah,
stuff in my inbox
That's
every
That's
what
why
day.
it
you
is.
have to get an office.
I take it
person.
I need an
personally.
office person big time.
You
I
really
take those
do.
things personally.
But all right,
Don't take it
let's
personally.
take a quick break. Okay.
Okay.
We'll come back. We'll talk about that, and then we'll touch base on a couple other things. But all right, folks, stick with us, and we'll be right back. Hi, guys. Want to just say thanks for listening. As always, we really appreciate it. Also want to let you know we're always looking for guests to be on the show. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, pretty much anyone who's in any type of unique field, come and talk about their experience. If you're interested in being a guest, just go to quartzplumbing.com, follow the podcast link, and then just fill out the guest application, and we'll have a conversation about you getting on the show. It's a lot of fun. It's really an easy way to get your brand out there, your business name, and kind of just let people know the human side of your business or whatever field you're in. Again, we really appreciate people listening. I want to remind you again to like, share, subscribe, all that. Just get the word out. We really appreciate it. And that's pretty much it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Duties.
All right, folks. Welcome back to Plum Bums Podcast. We're here with Casey Everett talking about some falconry and, of course, some other things. Casey, again, you're a fellow plumber in the area.
Sure I am.
That's always something to banter about.
Yep. I think December. This will be airing in December, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
December 20. I think it's the 24th or the 27th. I can't remember. That would be 7 years in business.
For you?
For me. Yeah.
Me too. No, I'll be going on my 8th in this industry.
Congratulations.
You're going on your 6th.
Yeah.
That's good.
My father's still pissed.
Why? Because he wants him to get into.
He wanted me to
take over his business.
Dude, you'd probably make just as much money doing that because nobody wants to do it anymore. These kids have been sold a lie.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And
we're reaping the benefits of the lie that was sold.
I know, but it's getting. There's a lot of undercutting and pricing going on right now.
I don't tolerate it, and I fire my customers all the time.
I don't, you know.
I fire my customers on a regular basis. I literally told one person, I said, "You're fired." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You're fired." I said, "I'm not going to work for you anymore."
Well,
so I got to get somebody else. I said, "Fine, get somebody else. Get somebody else that's going to come in $500 cheaper than me, and then ruin your whole house."
Someone goes,
or the key. Here's the key with all of it. I think is that you're paying. They're paying for you to be there. You know, like if let's say you mess up on a job or something goes wrong or whatever it is, which I know you probably don't mess up that often, but
I'm working by myself. I don't have employees, so
but
yeah, it doesn't happen.
You're always going to be there.
It's true. No offense. But you're not like it's different. Like guys with a lot of men, a lot of manpower, a lot of job sites going on. You think that he wants to go home on Friday night? You think he's gonna like go in there and like tighten it?
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it. And then like you're gonna hear about it on Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. The guy's gonna call you screaming, your guy didn't tighten this thing because it's not at the end of the day. He's just getting paid.
But that's the thing. If you want a good plumber, you have to go with a company that's paying their guys well and taking care of their
100%,
guys.
100%.
You know? So, go ahead.
But the point is that let's say that does happen because it has happened. I've had that situation happen to me. It's like we go back. You're there.
Yeah,
like there are some guys there, but
there's a warranty.
Yeah, but there are some companies that
there's a warranty.
Those guys that you're talking about, the undercutting,
they don't care. They'll just block your number and go to the next person. They don't care.
They move on.
Yeah.
So
I had a guy call for a water heater. I gave him the quote over the phone, and water heaters of 40 gallons up to like $2,000 now. You know, that's.
I wish I should do that.
Well, he goes. Well,
you're never supposed to give the quote over the phone, though. I was taught.
So
you're supposed to get your foot in the door and make the connection.
Yeah, I know, and we usually do that, but you could tell he was shopping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. I'm not even going to bother. So I sent him the quote, and he goes back 10, 15 minutes later. He's like, someone's coming over to do it for like $1,200. I'm like, $1,200?
Do it. I would do it.
Go, dude.
I've
Go
done
ahead.
it for $1,200 for like friends and family, people I know.
Yeah, I know,
bang it out
but
quick.
how are you running a business in North
you're not
Jersey
making
charging
any money.
that?
You're not making any
and
money.
that's the thing. Like we're in a manufacturing crisis right now, and a lot of companies it hasn't caught up to them yet.
Right.
And they're scrambling. Soon they will be scrambling to be like, holy cow! Like things are backing up now.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a transition period where guys who haven't learned the lesson, they're going to get hit hard soon.
Yeah.
Because material just went up again. I just went down the supply.
I feel like I get the email like every week from Ferguson,
and it's pages long now.
And it's like 7,000 different things. Like, or sometimes they just do the brand.
Yeah.
Not every part. They'll just do like watts has gone up 15%.
Yeah.
Like 15%.
Yeah.
That means a check valve is like $120 now when they were $50.
And guys,
so now you're thinking, I need this and that. Oh, $50 check valve. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then you go to pick it up. It's $120. You're like, I was charging $120 for the part. Now I'm paying $120. Now I'm not making any money for any.
Exactly.
So like, the whole thing is like a mess.
I don't think most people realize in what a catastrophe we're about to face, and it's us who are dealing with the service industry and stuff like that, and dealing with manufacturing. manufacturing a mess.
Yeah.
The price is skyrocketing.
It's out of control.
And you're trying to stay in competition with guys who are just not running their business right, and they're undercutting you. But here's the good thing about that. You get calls back for those. I had this guy come in here. I'm sorry, we've gotten that recently.
Really?
So we should have gone
One
with
of
you
your
guys from the
customers
start.
betrays you?
He wasn't a faithful customer. He's used
Right,
a couple things. I should have used you guys from the start. I should have known. And what are you going to do at that
learn
point?
your lesson.
Yeah. But anyway, that's for another show.
Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to talk about, so you, a couple weeks ago, your Instagram was blowing up with some cool footage with the falconry community.
Yeah.
With RFK Jr. over there, who had no idea was into this stuff.
Yeah, RFK, Robert Kennedy, he's been a falconer for like 40 years or something.
Really?
Yeah, he's been for a long, long time. He's been involved for a long time. And like a lot of guys that I respect in the community that like live local, like Dave, because he like, I think he used to live in like New York. So like everybody used to like hang out with him and like go flying. He'd go here, oh, this guy's really good. He runs good dogs. He had dachshunds too that he bought, and he used to hunt with them.
Really?
Yeah, he like was the real deal. Now he doesn't have so much time. But so every year, I think twice a year, they do a charity event where basically it's like a dinner, I'm assuming. I think now during COVID it went online, but it used to be like a dinner.
Okay.
You know, where you go and they have like different things and
COVID was a Zoom dinner.
I think they just did it online where it was like a bunch of options and you can bid on each option.
Okay.
And whoever
I
bids the
gotcha.
highest, they win it. So one of the things on the docket is like a falconry hunt with Robert Kennedy Jr. So you pay, I think some of these guys like pay like $20,000 to go.
Wow,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, they donate like $20,000 to this fund.
That's a lot of money to hunt with some
You
dude.
should see the people that come out. They
Fair enough.
it
does seem like
they're
a
just
little elitist.
you know. So
It does seem a little silver
Everyone's got
spoonery.
those
Yeah.
Mongolian hawks.
So they come out and then they go on, and he's been doing this, mind you. I posted a picture. I thought it was cool, and I got like all my like 3 of my buddies. They sent me pictures of like them in like the 90s, you know, when they had hair
wow.
and their hair wasn't gray anymore, with Robert Kennedy and their bird.
That's
They're
cool.
like, he's been doing this forever.
What does he hunt with?
He's hunted. He's flown like every bird.
Really?
He's gone to Scotland. He's gone to Europe. He went all around the world flying birds with different people. Yeah, he's
Must be nice to have those types of resources.
yeah. He's connected, obviously.
Of course, he's a Kennedy.
Obviously, and he so he does this thing. It's like a charity event, and a friend of mine, Tom Cullen in New York. He has, if anybody's listening and interested, he has a falconry like excursion, like that's his business. He has over like during breeding season, he has probably 200 plus birds at his house.
What do you mean an excursion?
Meaning, you pay to go on a falconry hunt experience.
Oh, you have to plug that.
Yeah, it's falconryexcursions.com, I believe. And my friend Tom, you can just direct message him on Instagram. It's Black Dirt Falcons, I think. Black Dirt Falcons. We'll add it in the link. But if it's Falcon, if you look up Falconry Excursions, Goshen, New York, it's like the only one that pops up.
He now became editor for Plum Bums.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll get it in post.
We'll get it in the post. Don't worry. It'll be in there.
Hold on,
right?
the camera just starts pushing me away.
But he's been doing this for a long time, and I go to his house all the time because he'll get bird like wrap their food in bulk, and he'll be like, I got some extra stuff.
Oh, wow.
I'll
Yeah.
go over, and there'll be like 20 people in his front yard with one of his employees with like an eagle. He's got like all different kinds of eagles, every type of owl you could even think of. Harris hawks, he breeds them. He has like the whole
That's
9 yards
It's such a
operation.
unique
And he's
thing
like,
to
it's
be
not even that
involved
expensive.
with.
You just pay a couple $100, and like then you could do like the picture thing where like you could take pictures with all the owls and then just say thank you and you leave and you just whatever.
Yeah.
Or like you could do the whole 9 yards where like you go across, they have another piece of property that they own, and they stock it with like pheasant and rabbits and squirrels and like all kinds of stuff is there, and you can go on a hunt. So Bobby Kennedy Jr. is very good friends with the Cullen family, and I believe the daughter is his goddaughter.
Who's that?
My friend's sister
okay.
is like Bobby's goddaughter. So
Okay.
like they're very close. So he puts this on, and then he flies in, and everybody flies in. They go to New York, I think, and like have like a big dinner. It's like a whole weekend thing.
Right.
And then they all come to Tom's house, and then Tom takes them on this like excursion, and everybody can take pictures and fly the bird around, all different birds. And then he recently asked me. He goes, listen, he's like, your bird obviously is cool, the white one. You fly it very well, and I think it'd be a lot of fun. Do you want to come? And obviously, I can't charge for anything like that, so I'm not making any money. It's totally illegal. I'm just going for the fun of it,
right?
And I think it's great for my birds.
The experience, yeah.
Number one, to just for me, it's not so much like being with. This is the second time I've done this. Not so much to be with Bobby and stuff. Like, he's an awesome guy. He's super down to earth and cool guy. But like my birds being around so many people in that kind of scenario, it like helps them calm down and like get used to different things, and it's a positive experience.
I gotcha.
So for me, I'm like, it's a training exercise.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome. You get to chase a pheasant, in front of all these people, and it's entertaining, and my bird is learning from it. So he invited me last year, and this is the second time we did it. And basically, we fly all different birds. We flew a gyrfalcon, 2 gyrfalcons, which are these giant white falcons from the Arctic.
Wow.
And he breeds those also. They're super cool. They're like the goshawk, the white one, but like
bigger.
Well, they're not. They weigh more.
Okay.
But they're denser.
So they look like
and they're
stocky?
huge, and they're white, and they hit like a truck.
Wow.
And so we fly them around. Yeah. If you want, I could probably hook you up with them if you guys want to go
I would
up
absolutely do that in a heartbeat.
And then we flew that around, and then we take the Harrisawks out. He takes like 2 or 3 Harrisawks out, and it's like chase all this stuff. Everyone's like yelling. There's a whole film crew that comes, and then at the end we take my bird out and we chase a pheasant.
That's great.
And it's a really fun video. The pheasant like flew like crazy, and the bird chased it all the way off into the woods and caught it, and
I mean,
that's a lot of fun.
That's
so cool.
The community aspect is really cool.
It's so unique, that community. It's just such a strange, unique thing to be involved. I don't want to say strange, but it's just a unique thing to be involved in. And the people that you're talking about being involved with this, like the guys that we met, were really cool. Yeah, really nice guys.
Yeah, it's like we have doctors, lawyers, garbage men,
down to earth,
everywhere.
Unemployed people, and then like a Kennedy. It's like it's like everybody. Like falconry is just like a encompassing thing.
There's like pug groups that I can join on Facebook. Like that community is pretty.
I have
nice.
leprechaun groups.
It seems like it would be a nice group to be a part of. Very mellow and calm.
They have dog walks. So I haven't brought her to one, but I know there's groups like that all the time, and they have dog walks like through the summer, through like Van Saun and stuff like that.
You can only walk for like 5
That's
minutes.
what I was just gonna say. Like, where are these people walking?
Where are you
this
walking?
dog, she's not even that lazy of a pug, and she's lazy as hell.
She's awful. Awfully.
I'm like,
lazy.
how far are you people walking with these dogs in like June?
Just to get out. It's a community.
No, well, a lot of them are in much better shape. Sometimes when I take care of Frankie, and I try to take her outside with him,
a little jab.
It's
pretty much.
You a lot of ones that are a lot better than this one.
It's true. Look at her.
I can't argue.
She's just laying around. That's
There's sometimes where he's like, he's trying to get her out of the truck. He's like, "Come on, let's go meet this customer," and she's just like, "Nah, I'm not getting out of the
bed." Well, even in the morning, like,
it doesn't help that you have like this menagerie set up in the cab of the truck with like beds and like a whole crate.
No, that should help.
I wouldn't want to get out.
You know
either.
how I did that?
I don't want to get out of the truck when I'm going to a customer's house to begin with. You give me a bed, you think I'm getting out?
That's a dog bowl frame.
Yeah.
I think it's sweet.
I took a dog bowl frame and you just
like mounted it on.
So for the listeners that don't know what we're talking about, so the dogs obviously come to work with us all the time. We were trying to figure out how to get them into the trucks comfortably, and we had stopped. I think like on the way back from a job, I had to get like work pants, and we stopped at like TJ Maxx,
something like that.
And there was this like dog bowl frame, and we're like, wait a second, the two of them would fit nicely in that. So it's mounted in the cab between the seats, with like bedding and stuff, and they just sit there perched out and just stare out.
I went to the hardware store. I got 500-pound hooks, 300-pound chains. Like they're small, but like the weight.
I could put my brother in that thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and he was perched up like that.
Yeah. Put the helper in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need one.
Yeah.
We're Quartz Plumbing is hiring. Anybody want a job? We'll teach you plumbing. You don't even have to know plumbing as long as you have a good head on your shoulders. That's all I care about at this point.
Take direction.
and
listen.
It's funny because I heard a story about it too, and the guy that was talking to us about his business, his plumbing business. He goes, when we all say, "Oh, there's a shortage of guys that nobody really wants to get into these trades," and he made a good point, and I've heard this before. It's like you have to get guys that are not plumbers. Why? Because plumbers know, and they're like, they know the work, and they're like, I don't want to do it the way that somebody else wants to do it. I want to do it myself.
Bad habits.
Bad habits,
yeah.
and they're not going to get out of them. So what you have to do is you have to get guys. First of all, either try to get younger guys if you can that don't really know what they want to do yet, or you get guys in like fields that they're really not happy in. People bounce around from jobs all the time.
Yeah.
Up until 25, you're not really set in what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? So you can find a 22,
You should be,
23-year-old. Yeah.
Not always.
You should be
Yeah.
by 25. I wasn't.
I put my foot down and I said I'm going to be a plumber. I was doing plumbing for many years, but I put my foot down and enrolled in school at 21.
That's young, though.
And I wish I
unique.
did it at 18.
But that's
I got my
unique.
license when I was like 27.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That's unique.
I wish I
because-
got it when I was like 25 or 24. I would have been balling. I would have
Look
been.
at
I
me.
probably would have been bankrupt.
I didn't know how to handle all those
You know?
checks.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean-
doing stupid stuff with it.
I flailed around for a long time.
No,
I'm
I
still
think
flailing around.
25 is a good cutoff number. My father always said that. He goes, up until 25, you have to figure it out.
That's good.
Just
That's
try
good,
to
Francis.
figure out
Yeah. That's kind of what my mom and dad told
where
me
you
too.
want to. You know,
I was going to be a nurse at first.
Yeah, you told. I
And then I
remember.
Yeah,
dropped
I
out, and then
remember talking
my
about that.
mom was like, "All right, if you want to be a," because she was calling her friends, like he wants to do this, and I think this is one of the ladies that my mom was friends with. She said, all I know is that my plumber showed up to my house with an estimate with a Porsche, and my mom was like, "Oh," because I was telling her how much my boss was making. So then she said, "All right, if you're gonna do it, you have to go full tilt, enroll in school, take it seriously, treat it like anything else, and you have to."
Yeah.
Yep.
I tell my customers all the time that I had to go to school for 4 years. They cannot believe it.
I know.
I'm like insulted.
Nobody can believe that.
They cannot believe it.
And
I'm like
continuing
yeah.
education.
Continuing education. You can't be a felon. You can't there's all these things like you like.
Can't be a
it's
felon.
You can't be a felon.
What?
To get your license and
I mean,
own your own
not that I'm a
business.
felon, but you.
Are you a felon?
Huh? No,
He
but
lied
I'm
on
just-
his resume. This guy.
I'm not a felon, but I just didn't know
I know
that you.
that now about a lot of things. I'm aware. It took a while, but
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that like you're not able to, so that it's like this is the only thing about the government that they do well is in this instance where they regulate
The regulation
stuff
of
like
the
this.
trades, yes.
Because before it was a free for all. Everybody
Yeah.
you get this guy over here. He's like, oh, I'm a plumber. And it's like there's no. How do you know he's a plumber? Now you have a license,
Yeah.
a license number. You can look it up online to make sure it's
requirements,
active.
yeah.
You have to have your license number plastered on the side of your truck, big
Yep.
letters.
The
big
letters have
numbers.
to be a certain
Yeah,
size. It's
yeah.
like so legit. So like that is weeding
I've called
out.
a couple trucks in.
Yeah,
I'm
have
not
you?
gonna lie.
Have
I've
you?
called a
You
couple
should.
trucks in.
By the way,
Yeah, you
both of
should.
you should, because
If you're going to school, you're busting your ass to get
Yeah.
your license. You're going at night, sacrificing time
Yeah.
at home with your family to get your license, and then you see some schmuck that says plumbing on the side of his truck with
Yeah.
no license number. Screw you, bro.
or nothing at all. I remember
nothing at
going.
all.
I remember going to somebody's house to give them an estimate for a toilet, a new toilet, and
There's 3 plumbers in there giving an estimate for the same.
no. I gave them the
Oh.
estimate, and they were like, "Oh,
I've been there.
They were like, "Yeah, we'll think about it." Right? I go over there in the afternoon. I'm driving up and down this road.
He was sitting down the
after-
block watching the house. That's
No,
what he was
no.
doing.
Driving up and
It's fine
down,
by me.
up and down the road. By the supply house. I passed it by the supply house. By the afternoon, I saw another guy in an unmarked van, white van, pulling out a toilet out
Does
of
it
the
have
back
like a
of his
red
truck.
wrench on the side of it?
Yeah,
That's
no.
what that's what they do. They think they're
Nope.
slick.
Yeah.
Nothing on there. Just pulling a toilet out of the back of the truck. I'm like, you're gonna call us back for
Go
something.
ahead.
I know it.
Go
I
ahead.
know it.
You should
I
have called
have-
the town and said there's illegal activity
He
going
did.
on here.
He did. He goes, "What house?"
Was it that job?
He goes,
Did
"What
I pull
house?"
on
And
that
you
job?
drove by a house. You looked at the license plate.
Let that
and
be
you're
a
like,
lesson
"Let
to
me
you.
call."
If you don't use quartz plumbing,
Yeah.
they'll be.
I call it on like Steadfast and Conway all the time.
Wickersheim.
There's some schmuck at one of my customers' house right now.
I don't know who this guy is. He's definitely doing something illegal though. Should probably check it out. You ever had an inspector walk in on you on a job site?
Just randomly?
Yeah,
We don't do jobs like that.
I had that like 3 times.
Like a building inspector?
Like a plumbing inspector or somebody in the town, somebody in the neighborhood called. Like I was literally doing.
Oh,
a
no,
boiler,
never.
And the
Never.
guy literally, I'm in the basement of the Belco doors, piping in a boiler, and just like some guy walks in the house.
Uh-huh.
Got a permit for that?
What?
I said, hey, how are you? Because I'm like, you're the homeowner or something? He goes, no, I'm the I'm the plumbing inspector. I go, yeah, I'm gonna get a permit. He goes, you're gonna get a permit? You have a permit? I said, well, what is the? I said,
Oh.
what? This is what I literally said. I said, so what's the rules though? He goes, you have 24 hours or what?
Exactly.
I said,
So get the hell out of here.
I said, thanks. I said, why are you in my? I said, why are you in my?
72.
I said, is it 72?
Yeah.
I said, why are you in my customer's house?
Yeah, don't.
He goes,
stand
I
for
saw
that.
the truck and the boxes, and I'm just making sure. I said, don't worry. I said,
Like,
don't
get
relax.
off of
I said,
this
relax.
property, dude. Who do you think you are, Caesar?
He literally walked into the basement of the customer's house.
That guy should be
in like a
fired
t-shirt. He
immediately.
wasn't even on the job.
That guy should be no badge.
He said he was walking by. He was driving. It was on a. I think it was on a Saturday.
Absolutely
I'm
not.
even joking.
Don't say the town. Tell me off camera.
Yeah.
But absolutely not. I would have lost my shit.
He would
Excuse
have.
me.
I didn't yell at him. I was polite at first, and then
You
then
start
he
out
kept
polite.
going.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sorry,
did you get a
pal.
fight with your wife or something? I said, you're in my customer's house and
Yeah.
you're like harassing me without a permit that I don't even need right
Coming
now.
through the backyard.
Yeah, it was so weird,
Dude, the state is becoming so invasive, and
So
it's
weird.
really,
I'm like,
really.
you want the $150, $75
Yeah.
permit fee? Like, holy
Are you
crap.
that
I'm gonna be
desperate?
honest. I
Seriously.
would have loved to have seen that inspector.
I
walk
wish
in on
I was
you,
there, bro.
because he doesn't start off.
I've had them
polite.
slap me in the lawn,
He's
too.
like,
I'll start off nicely.
I'm always nice at
with
first.
an inspector,
Yeah.
with a government official.
I'll start off. Dude, honestly, we don't have many problems with inspectors.
I know we don't. That's true. But I'm saying if that situation happened,
If that situation,
That's what I'm saying.
I would sort out exactly what's going on, and then when it clicked, I would
Yeah.
have been
Get
like,
the hell outta here.
Get the hell off this property
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, dude. I'm about to call the police and have you removed.
And I wasn't even in a neighborhood that was like that high traffic, and I've heard so many stories, like in Fort Lee and stuff like that, and West New York, where there's it's very dense and there's apartment buildings. And my buddy, he did plumbing for a long time, and he has a bunch of buildings, and he would do all the work in the buildings, and he used to have the guy would stalk him. And when he's
That's
moving
so
tools
not-
inside the house,
you know what?
he'd
He
be
should-
coming out to get another set of tools or something, and the guy would be standing next to his truck, you got a permit for that?
No way.
Yeah.
I would film that guy, and I would. You know what? And if the state doesn't do anything, you know what you do? You edit a video together and you blast it everywhere, and you say, "I'm
That's
being
a new thing
harassed
you
by
do
the
now,
state."
yeah.
You bring it to the public because I'm sorry. What?
no, I'm laughing because I know exactly what you would do, and
I
it's
know.
funny.
I'll use effects
It's
on
so pathetic.
CapCut.
You're talking about feminizing of the male race.
Yeah.
Forget it,
Now
dude,
you got to pull a
enough.
phone out and be like, ah!
Yeah.
I would just back in the
know.
day, you just give him a backhand, tell him
Yeah.
to get out of here.
That
Scram.
you can't do.
Not anymore.
No, but there are ways to
You can
really.
as long as there's nobody's camera around.
Dude, when I was in plumbing school, I used to ask the stupidest questions because all the teachers at school are inspectors and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you can't curse, right? On this shit?
No.
So I would
No
literally,
F-bombs.
I'd be in class and I'd be like, I have a really serious question. So if you were on a job site, right, and we had a little debate about a code thing, and I told you to in the middle of class, I said, what would happen? He goes, well, technically that's threatening assault and death on a
not.
public official. I was like, oh, so I can't say that?
You can say
And
that.
he's
That's free speech.
Well, he's like, technically you're threatening a public official, and it's terroristic. You can't do that. And I'm like,
Terroristic
oh, okay. Everybody
threats?
be dying.
It's not, though.
Everybody be dying.
There was a
laughing.
teacher at Passaic that kind of looks
Yeah,
like you that
exactly,
he got
right?
into
So-
it with.
So we had a sub recently, and he was telling a story how
playing the movie the whole time?
the sump pump lines, how sometimes they'll go under the front lawn and out through the curb to the street.
Right, yeah.
So there's a lot of towns that have
You're not really
no
allowed to do
code,
that.
and you can in some towns. They don't have it written into code, but the guy just doesn't like it. It doesn't matter what you
Bro,
like.
that's like
Hold on, let me
90% of
finish.
my arguments.
So
Go
he goes. So this lady was pumping her sump pump out to the street. There's no code in the town, and I go up to her. I was like, "You can't do that." She's like, "Cite the code." He finds out she's a lawyer, so
Yeah,
she
she
goes.
tore
She goes,
him
"Cite
one."
the code." So the town. This is what pissed me off when he was telling me the story. The lady didn't. He did. What the town did is they sat in their office for like 3 weeks
trying to find
get
it.
this lady.
Yeah. That's how they are.
And he goes, and
Bro, I
she
hate these
finally
people.
won. And I raised my hand, and no, I said under my breath, I was like, "Good."
What
He's like, "What do you
teacher
mean
was it?
good?" I don't want to say. I don't even know his
He
name.
looked just like you, by the way. I
He
said,
goes,
did you have,
he goes,
did you
"What do you
have
mean good?" He's like, "Screw that lady." I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, because she knows her rights.
Because she
Screw that
knows her
lady?
rights.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
screw that lady. I'm
It
sorry.
was good for her.
It was good for dude. Don't let the state. You give somebody a clipboard and a badge, the average person, and
my
they
God.
become mini Hitler.
Literally.
It's beyond
ridiculous.
me, bro.
You saw it during the what?
Yeah.
Everybody was a hero.
The era we don't speak
Everybody
of.
was saving everybody.
Well, that's the thing. And when you said that with the guy who walked in the basement,
Yeah.
it's not so much the town; it's the freaking neighbors
Somebody called.
who were like,
I think
"Nee,
somebody
nee,
called.
nee.
He said he was driving by.
I'm going to
but
be a
somebody
good
probably
citizen,
called.
and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to tell on people."
Yeah.
Like,
That's why I moved in the middle of nowhere. Leave me alone.
So falconry, huh?
Yeah, man. Birds. Pipes and birds.
You know,
It's my life.
so
We're kind of getting
one of my coolest bird stories that I ever saw. I went kayaking along the Mississippi up in Minnesota. One of the coolest things I ever saw was a bald eagle
Oh yeah.
fly down into the Mississippi, grab a fish out of the water, swoop down, grab a fish out of the water, perch up on another tree on the other side of the river, right next to another bald eagle,
And just eating.
and just start eating.
just take out a fork and knife and just
Yeah.
start carving up the fish.
But that
Little
was
napkin.
that was awesome.
Little
Fucking
napkin.
did.
So you said they hunt with eagles too.
They're amazing.
Are those more? Are those? They have to be more difficult, right? Are they more independent?
And the regulation.
And the
Yeah, so
regulations
like in
probably
New
insane.
Jersey, you're not allowed any eagle species. New York, you can own eagle species, which is cool. Like my buddy Tom, you can go and see. He's got all kinds
Oh,
of eagles.
wow.
He has like a Benelli's eagle, an African eagle. They're like they're. I've been a falconer for a while, like almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And like when you're around those birds, it's like
Intimidating.
holy crap! Like
Could-
it could
How
kill.
big are they? How tall are they?
I mean, he said it was hooded, thank God, and he said take the black eagle. I was doing work on his boiler. I was vacuuming it because he has rows of perches in his basement, which is all done up, and he's got a nice high efficiency boiler, but like all of the little feathers and like little tiny feathers that it
They
sucks
get
it
sucked
in.
I got you.
And then the soot is brutal.
Okay.
So we had to clear out the whole room for me to vacuum it out and do a whole full service on it. And he's like, take the black eagle out to the perch. Dude, I'm talking like the foot sitting on my hand is like a horse's
Like vice grips?
It's like it's over my hand, and then the other one's like up. Like it's like
Holy
a
cow.
monster.
How
like
much
a
does it
monster.
weigh?
Like 5 pounds, 6 pounds.
Oh, there's-
my goshawk is a pound and a half.
Yeah.
And you saw the size of the white
Uh-huh.
one. So just for comparison, a 5 pound version of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
it's
5 times
like,
bigger.
It could if it grabbed you by the neck and the face, like it would kill you.
Birds of prey.
Like it would kill you.
This is a dinosaurs.
It's a dinosaur, literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
That's debatable.
that's what I'm saying. Go see his place, and you'll see some cool stuff. And he has like everything up there. But in New York, you can have them, but I don't know that you can hunt with them. So you can have them, but I don't think you can actively hunt game
Gotcha.
with them because it's right in other states like out west.
Forget it.
There's a guy out west. I forgot his name. He drives around at night because there's no regulations on jackrabbits, and he drives around at night with this like $150,000 like dune buggy with like lights all around.
Nice.
Through like the middle of nowhere,
Oh,
and then
that's
the
cool.
jackrabbits get up and run, and then the eagle just
Oh, that is so
in the
cool.
dark with all the lights. And sometimes they catch coyotes and stuff by accident. It's like insane.
Jeez,
Just
really?
grabs the coyote by the face.
Oh my gosh, that's
Brutal.
nuts.
Yeah, it's,
Well, I've seen videos of harpy eagles, which is like the
harpy
largest
is the
eagle,
largest one. Yeah.
taking massive sloths.
They'll just grab
right
a monkey
off
right by
tree.
the face and just kill it.
And
Yeah,
just
yeah,
keep.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
Yeah.
But the raptor species to me, obviously, owls are cool, really cool. I think
Yeah.
owls are awesome.
Yeah, they're cool.
But birds of prey, just in general, fascinating. And
Yeah.
the birds you had, I mean, I'm so thankful you brought us out. That was so awesome.
Yeah, I was happy to have you guys. It was
Yeah.
fun. I just wish my bird did better, but it was just not the day.
We still
That's
got
why
the-
I had
we still
backup.
got the experience.
That's why I had backup there. Because I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? If my bird screws off, like we got to have backup.
No, we still had a good experience.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
You saw everything. You
Left
saw the
us
whole
wanting
nine.
more. Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
that the bird eats the
Yeah.
eats
It's fun to watch him eat.
It was amazing.
Well, it was cool 'cause
first of
what
all,
he does-
slurped them up like spaghetti.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
What he was doing was, well, the dogs were there,
Yeah.
so he was taking his wings and like blanketing
He
the
created a
food.
dome.
Yeah, yeah. It's called
Creating a
mantling. It's what we call
Yeah?
it. Yeah, it's called mantling.
Was it because the dogs were there? He's like,
A lot
"Get
of them
out
just
my
do
biz."
it. They all do
Yeah.
it instinctually, just because it hides it from any other
Okay.
hawks or predators that want to steal it from them.
He nipped at your buddy's dog because he got a little bit too close.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I got
He
videos
was like, "Nope,
of
I'm not-"
my bird. She'll fly 10 feet to
Away?
smack my dog, and then jump back on her food. Oh yeah, she doesn't want the dog anywhere near her.
When
Fair
she
enough.
gets the food.
When the dog is working, she's right with the dog. As soon as she catches it, she's like, everybody stay
Stay
away.
away.
Except for me, she doesn't care that I'm there.
Well, that's like Frankie. You give her a bone, she'll like clear the room.
Yeah, yeah.
So no
Drop
one's
kick
around.
Maury.
Yeah, it's just a
Get outta
natural.
here.
It's just a natural instinct. Of
Anyway, listen again. I want to thank you for coming on.
course. Yeah.
Thank you for taking us out. This
My
is a
pleasure.
fascinating subject. We got to get out there again, and I would love to do that retreat thing. We got to get. You want to plug that guy's info again?
Yeah, it's falconryexcursions.com, and if you just look up Falconry Excursions Goshen, New York, it's like the only one. They've been around for years.
Nice.
And just reach out to them. I think you can just Like they have like a menu where you can like just click on what you want and like add it to the cart and they pick the date you want.
Oh shoot,
Yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
pretty. I believe it's like that, or you just call them and just tell them, you know, that whatever, and this is what they do for a living.
Nice.
So if you want to see owls, little tiny owls,
Get the full
big
experience.
The
owls,
tiny owls. I
you
love
can
those
hold a lot
things.
of them too. They have all kinds of permits where you can hold stuff and fly it around. They have like
That's cool.
the
Sick.
whole 9 yards up there. It's a lot of fun. It really is. I go there just for fun. I'm like, dude, I just want to come here just to
upstate
hang
New
out.
York?
Just to hang out.
just
It's
to hang
upstate
out.
New York.
Goshen.
It's not even upstate.
it's
It's like right over the border.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
An hour.
Let's go. What time is it?
yeah.
Let's
Pull 'em
go.
up.
Yeah.
Folks, thanks for joining us again. Casey, thanks for being on again. I
My
appreciate
pleasure,
making
yeah.
the time.
Thanks for having me.
Max, thanks for coming back from Italy and coming back to work. I didn't know if you were going to come back. You left on pretty
There
bad
was.
terms.
I'm gonna be honest. The one thing that would have kept me there is not the one thing. There's a couple things that could keep me there. The women are absolutely gorgeous. Like the Italian women are absolutely stunning.
Barabagin.
They're stunning. The food and the women is why people go to Italy
right.
because, you know,
100%.
So you struck out pretty bad over there, huh?
it was awful.
Folks, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us again, Plum Bums, the Everyman's Podcast. I think we're gonna try to weld that into the title. But guys, please like, subscribe, share. Please get the word out. We'd love more viewers. We'd love some input. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.